Hi, this is Valerie, and I am going to do a recruiting system overview for those of you who are in the recruiting program or would like to be in the recruiting program. I'm going to do a little bit of a review, and then we're going to move on to an actual demo of the recruiting system. The overview is that the SKIP recruiting program was developed out of a need for more automation. We've looked at a lot of different platforms out there. Our clients have looked at a million different platforms, and all of them are fairly expensive and don't have enough automation and don't have enough all-inclusive features to be helpful. So what we did was we included everything from texting to emailing to phone calling, and we automated a bunch of stuff to try and take the pressure off the front end. So it's gives you increased caregiver, job seekers, automation, addresses difficult front end of recruiting. We help with ad management, and we try to simplify the process for you and your staff. So the first thing to know is that we place the ads for caregivers, RNs, LPNs, CNAs, HHAs, whatever you need. We usually use Facebook. And we don't do it the way you would normally do it. We do it a little bit differently. We do not use the Facebook jobs platform. We use Facebook lead ads, which if you're not a lead or an ad geek like us, you might not know exactly what that means. But we place these ads and the candidates answer the ad, and they answer a couple of qualifying questions, and then they're entered into our system. And I'm going to go through all this in detail, but basically our system communicates with them via text and email. They self-schedule their interview. They self-schedule their interview, and then they're sent email reminders and text reminders 1 day, 1 hour, and 15 minutes before their interview. The best candidates will self-identify by booking an appointment with you and fast-track their path to employment, saving you valuable time. You receive a branded recruiting center. It's a little website that you can link to directly from your traditional website that you have. You don't have to, but you certainly can. It's all branded to you, all your colors, your logos. So you have a branded landing page or mini website. It includes About Us, open positions, information form, self-scheduling center. A full application is optional, and document upload center is also optional. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay, so here is sort of the overview of what happens. On the left-hand side, you see candidates enter the funnel from various sources like Facebook, which is what we primarily use, but they can also come from Indeed, ZipRecruiter, MyCNA Jobs, and Craigslist, or any other thing that you might use. They come into the funnel, and the chase happens. We call it the chase because this is what you guys are doing, is chasing people around to try to get them to go to the next step. Well, instead, let's let automation get them to the next step. So to get them to fill out our information form, which is not a full application, our system chases them via text and email to fill out the information form. And then the interview. The next, the system gets them to schedule a phone or in-person interview, whichever you choose. We have a lot of clients that are doing a phone interview first, very brief. And then if that person seems like they'd be a good candidate, they're getting invited to an in-person interview. And then hiring. Then you decide what's next, a full application, in-person interview, and we can help automate even more. The result is less wasted time, better results, and no more chasing candidates. You focus on the ones that are doing the right thing. We also have add-ons for additional fees. Some of you may need this and some of you may not. We have people that add these on all the time. You don't have to do it right in the beginning. A lot of folks like us to do their online form fillable PDF forms. That includes your employment application, your I-9, W-4, background check, W-9, employee handbook, anything that you want form fillable. We can make it form fillable, and we can put it in a system where if the person you want to move forward is instantly emailed that little link, and then they go to one place, they fill out all the documents, and then that form filled document is emailed to you directly once it's completed. Some people like a password protected document center or orientation center, which I'll show you on the next slide, a little sample of that. We can set that up. It's password protected. All employees can get in there. You can add new hires. You can take people out. You can do whatever you need to do as far as getting people the documents and information they need. This is all set up inside the ASN Spark CRM. and you must provide all the documents. We don't make stuff up for you as far as that documentation center. You can put videos in there, orientation packets, timesheets for download, training manuals, training videos, employee handbooks, whatever you want can be in there, but you must provide it. We don't make them for you. And we will set that up and maintain it, add to it, help you get people set up in it with your own username and password. It's a pretty simple process, but and then you can do it yourself as well after we get you all set up. And then full management of job advertising platforms. So some people like us to just take over and do everything for them on the ads. So some people have us manage their entire Indeed account, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter, MyCNA Jobs, Craigslist, or any other job site that they might be involved with. What we do is we go in, we analyze the situation, what you're currently doing, what we can do, and then we talk about it with you. And what we do is we upload or reach out to those candidates in the evenings and then have the automation start the next morning. So if you have a bunch of candidates in there, we can export them, put them in your CRM account from any of these platforms, and then just go ahead and start that automation process with them. So those are all additional, but available to you if you should need them. This is what the sample of the branded document / orientation center looks like. This is kind of zoomed out, so it's a little bit bigger than this normally, but you can just see it's branded to a particular home care agency. It can be any senior service can use this. And we have all the documents in that they asked us for: a welcome letter, employee handbook, caregiver orientation slides, disciplinary guidelines, timesheet guidelines, payroll schedule, ADP app instructions, 12-strike policy, personal care sample timesheet, and respite sample timesheet. So anything that you would want to have added here, it is password protected and only your employees and staff can access it. All right, now we're going to move forward with the recruiting demo. We're going to take a look at everything that goes on here. So this is a sample of a branded career center. So this would be the top of the home page of your career center. You can see it says Valerie Senior Home Care. We just made that up. But this would be your colors, your logo. These apply now buttons are here. Benefits of working with us. So what happens is when somebody comes from Facebook, they go directly, they're sent a text and an email to get them to come directly to this career center. And I'm going to show you those texts and emails in just a second. And there's actually a pop-up that you can't do on a static slide. But there's a pop-up that will pop up here and ask them to go ahead and fill in their information. Or they can click on apply now. Sorry about that. They can click on apply now. And what that will do, this is by the way, I'm scrolling down the website. This is a screenshot of the, sort of middle of that little career center. And then this is the bottom of the career center. So we have this set up. It's fairly generic, but if you need anything changed on it, some people do like a few modifications to this homepage, and that's fine. So as soon as they click on apply now, it takes them here and they fill out what we call an information form. And remember, this is not a full application. So this is an info form. We're only going to ask a few questions because what we want to do is qualify the person, just like you would with Indeed or Facebook or ZipRecruiter. We're just trying to get them to answer a few qualifying questions to find out if we want them to go to the next step. So first name, last name, phone number, email, zip code, and then this is the bottom of the form. And these questions can change. So right now it says, are you authorized to work in the United States? Some people really need that, and some people really don't need that. It's not an issue for them. Are you currently listed on the state of California registry? If you're not in California, you don't need that question, and that's okay. So these last three questions we modify to meet your needs. So maybe you would prefer to know if they have a reliable transportation to and from work, or you want to know how many years of experience, just like this one asked, years of caregiving experience. Some people want to know, how many hours a week do you want to work this job? And then, so what we'll do is you'll let us know what these three questions, these should be your deal breaker or informational questions. Keep it really simple. We don't want to ask them an entire application of questions, just a few things right here. And then right here we do, we ask them for a photo ID if they want to. It is optional. Sometimes they will upload it here and sometimes they won't. And then they hit submit. and they're taken directly to this page, which is to schedule their own interview. Now, typically our clients are doing right now a phone interview first, and then and that's just like a 10-minute interview. And then if they are good, they like that person, everything's a good fit, then they will move on and invite them to an in-person interview. So we let that, the potential applicant, we let them go ahead and schedule their phone interview. You tell us the days and times that you are willing to take a phone interview, and we set that calendar up for you. There are additional pieces to that calendar that we'll talk about where you can customize. I mean, you can sync your calendar with your Google Calendar or Outlook. But let's say you told us Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., you're willing to take phone interviews. Or maybe you don't want to take them on Mondays. That's okay. On the Skip Recruiting form that we have you fill out, we do ask you some of these questions. And so we will set the calendar up to only take appointments for phone interviews when you want to take them. Now, if you're someone who does not do phone interviews, if you only do in-person interviews, that's fine. We'll change the system to say in-person interviews. And again, you can tell us, I only do those on Monday, Wednesday, Friday from noon to 4. I mean, whatever you want, we will set that calendar up for you. So this person decides they want to be here at 4:30 p.m. on the 13th, and they hit schedule. So once they do that, then it's done. They get this screen right here, watch for a text, email, and a phone call. So now I'm going to show you what they see, and then we'll show you what you see. So this is what we call the chase, what the potential hire receives to get them to fill out the information form. So once they come through Facebook, let's go way back. We are soliciting them through Facebook, and they see our ad and they're interested, and they fill out a little thing and they hit apply. As soon as they do that, our CRM is aware, and it sends them a text. This is a little fireworks here, and it says, "Hi, Mary," or whatever their name is. "This is ABC Home Care. Thank you for your interest in a home care job with us. We really want to interview you. Complete this quick information form. It only takes a minute, and then you can schedule your interview. Congrats and good luck." They also receive the same information via email. So they receive a text and an email right away. So when a potential applicant answers a Facebook ad, or any ad for that matter, the system sends them a text and an email to get them to fill out your information form. The system will do this for 4 days until the person takes an action, until they actually fill out that information form. If no action, if they don't do anything, they're added to what we call the stagnant pile for follow-up later. And then step 2 is this. We want them to schedule that interview. Now, when they're in your career center and they fill out the information form I just showed you a few minutes ago, it's instant. They're instantly taken to that schedule. However, some people get distracted. They walk away. They're not in a good place where they have good service. So it's a delay and they think it's done. There's all kinds of interruptions, right? So we want them to schedule their interview. So if they don't do that instantly, then they're going to start getting texts and emails to remind them that we need them to do that. So when a potential applicant fills out the information form, they should go ahead and schedule their interview, but some don't do this instantly. So the system will chase them for 4 days until the person takes an action, schedules an interview, or if no action, they're added to the stagnant pile for follow-up later. All your people in the stagnant pile can be re-engaged. We call it a re-engagement campaign, where we go back after 30 days and we send an email out to them, or text, or both, and say, "Hey, one time you were interested in working for ABC Home Care. Here's the process to get started." And we send them right back to that Career Center link to start that again. So let's talk about interview reminders. Once they have filled out the information form, they've scheduled their interview, now they're going to get a confirmation. So this text and this email and all those things that you see that say contact first name, location name, all of those are automatically filled in with the correct information. The system is really smart. So it'll say, "Hi, Valerie, your phone appointment with ABC Home Care has been confirmed. Please check your email, including spam and junk mail, for confirmation and follow-up reminders. Your appointment is on Thursday the 13th at 4:30 p.m. Okay, so the interview confirmation is sent to them instantly. This is typically for phone interviews. Then they get interview reminders. So 24 hours in advance, they get a text and an email. An hour in advance, they get a text and an email. And 15 minutes in advance, they get a text and an email. And so there's no reason why they shouldn't be prepared for you to go ahead and give them a call. If they don't show up, or they don't answer the phone, or they don't call you back in a timely manner when you try to call them, you can mark them in the ASN Spark CRM. You can mark them as a no-show, and I'll show you what that looks like. If you mark them as a no-show, they will get this text. This is just a text. It says, "Hi, Valerie. We're sorry that you missed the interview that you had scheduled with us at ABC Home Care. This was a phone interview. If you would like to reschedule, please use our calendar to set up a new appointment time. Thank you." And that next piece will take them, that little code there, it will actually be the link to your scheduling. We don't want them to fill out the information form again. We just need them to reschedule. We only do that once. If they don't do it, they're in the stagnant pile. Okay, so here's what you as a recruiting staff will see. First of all, as soon as someone fills out a form and schedules their appointment, they've taken both of those necessary steps, you're going to get an email that says, "Hi, this person just scheduled an interview with your team." It'll give you your information to log into the ASN Spark CRM, your email address, your password, everything will be right here in case you want to log in. Here's what we know. We have their first name, their last name, their email, phone, their zip code, and we do that so that you can know if they're in your wheelhouse and close enough to work for you. Their appointment start date, appointment start time, and then the answers to those 3 questions we talked about. Are you authorized to work in the U.S.? Are you currently on the state of California registry? How many years of caregiving experience do you have? Or whatever your questions are right here. Those answers will be there. So you'll have everything you need to be able to communicate with that person. Inside of the ASN Spark CRM, you also have an appointment section. So you can see all of your appointments in a list, and you can tell what's coming next. So I marked these out because this isn't a real account, but you can kind of see what these people do. They put the notes in as to which platform the person came from, and they're doing phone interviews, and then they're doing in-person interviews, which is an additional automation that we added for them and we can add for you as well. So if you start out with your phone interviews, but then you want to schedule in-person interviews through our system, and you want us to add the automation with reminders and things like that, like what documents to bring to that in-person interview, we absolutely can do that for you. Anyway, so they have all of their appointments in this schedule, and you can see that these are all confirmed. And then down here, they have some that showed up. You can also mark them as no-show right here. So if this first person didn't show up for their appointment, you can mark them as a no-show, and that single text will go out to them to reschedule. So this is the calendar view. So if you wanted to look at this from sort of like a Google Calendar, Outlook calendar perspective, this is inside the CRM. In order to have all the automation work that you want, you have to use the CRM calendar in some way. And we can talk about this more in depth on a one-on-one call, but this calendar in the CRM will sync up with Google or Outlook calendars. So your calendar here, once it's synced up with your Google Calendar, you don't have to worry that someone's going to schedule an appointment when you're out. So if you have a doctor's appointment or you have something like that, you can schedule yourself off on your own personal calendar or your team calendar, whatever you use, and then no one can schedule an appointment during that time, and the CRM calendar is aware of that. Also, under contacts and smart lists, so all of your contacts are coming in to the CRM, the ASN Spark CRM. And what we do is we set up what are called smart lists for you. So one of your lists across the top here, these are all lists of people that you might want to see. Job seekers can be one of those. So when you sort by job seekers, you can see all the people who are tagged as a job seeker in your CRM. This is just demo information, so none of these people are real. And so, except, there's demo, but these are all fake people. So you can see everybody who is a job seeker who's come in from anything that you want. This is sort of a short look at it. There's more information you can see over here to the right, but I just wanted to show you that you can sort your lists. So up here you could have job seekers, but then you could delineate it even more. Facebook, from Indeed, from ZipRecruiter, from Craigslist. If you wanted to, you could make these lists anything you want across here, and we can help you with that. Okay, so this slide talks about pipelines. So if you're not familiar with sales or you've never been in sales, it's hard to understand kind of what a pipeline is. But a pipeline is basically moving people through a system, sort of like standing in a line and getting to the next checkpoint. Each of these headings are like a bucket. So everybody comes in as a new applicant, but they don't spend much time there because, boom, they're in the pre-application phase, which means that they're getting those chase emails and texts to get them to fill out that little information form. And then, boom, they're moved into the scheduling of the interview phase, where we're trying to get them to schedule that interview. And then, boom, they're in the interview scheduled piece. Or their interview has been scheduled. And then zoop, then once their interview is scheduled, they're actually over here in awaiting decision. So the system automatically moves your candidates through the system all the way to here, to awaiting decision. Now the system doesn't know what's going to happen next. It doesn't know if you're waiting for documents or you hired them, and there's actually one more bucket over here that says rejected. It does not know what you did. So you'll have to click on this person and drag and drop them from awaiting decision, which is where they should be, to waiting for tests or documents, or to hired. So if you pay attention to this and you actually drag and drop people from awaiting decision to the next bucket, then over time you can look back and see, okay, we interviewed this many people. How many people are waiting for documents and tests still? Here's how many people we've hired, and here's how many people we've rejected. So this helps you with reporting. It helps all of you, even in your management team, understand more about what's going on and how many people have come through the system. Frequently asked questions about the recruiting program. We get this a lot. What can we customize? So you as an office, what can you customize? And we would recommend that you let us help you with this. So we can take any orders, sort of like order taking, and then we try to help meet those needs. So what can we customize? This is really touchy, this little play from current slide. You can customize anything you like with regard to messaging, timing, scheduling, and pipeline. We can help with all of that. You tell us what you want to see, and we'll let you know if there are any limitations. Typically, we can take care of whatever you want. I do recommend that you use the system with the information form and with phone interviews for at least 2 weeks to see how it goes for you. And then if you want to add more automation, like the in-person interview automation, or you want to add something else, then we could certainly do that for you and we can add that on. But I recommend you get used to it for a minute and then start customizing things. Right off the bat, though, you're going to want to change that information form. And we're going to want to know which 3 questions you want at the bottom of that. Something about transportation, something about having a valid CNA or CHHA or whatever it is. Every state's different and has different rules. Whatever 3 questions you need to ask right off the bat, we want to know what those are right away. However, all the other things that have to do with automation, we can do at any time. Can we add more automation? Yes, within limits. Some common requests are to add more automation for in-person interview reminders about what documents they should be bringing in, and reminders about upcoming orientation appointments. Will you take all of our PDFs and make them form fillable? Yes, for a fee. I just showed you the packages for that earlier. Will you manage Facebook plus Indeed, Zip, My CNA Jobs, and Craigslist? Yes, we have a package for that. Will you create a password-protected document orientation center for us? Yes, for a fee. We have a package for this. How do you make or request changes to our process or wording? So everything needs to go through support. Send a support ticket to support@ltcexpert.zendesk.com, and we will take care of whatever you need. If you need phone support, meaning that you want to walk through it or talk about it, then you can send us a ticket at support@ltcexpert.zendesk.com, and we'll schedule a meeting to review what you currently have or answer any questions or take down some information about what you would like to see next. Can I add prospects from other platforms myself? Of course you can. So you have a couple of options here. If you send us an Excel spreadsheet or CSV, we will add your prospects for you. We'll ask you a couple of questions about what you want us to do with them, but we will add them for you and start them in that automation process. If you want to add them yourself, we will do that. What happens is we do it for you the first time and we show it to you via a little video, and then you can do it yourself the next time. That's usually the easiest way. Now, if you want to do it yourself right off the bat, we have a couple of videos that show you how to do it yourself. So absolutely, you can take prospects from anywhere you want and add them in and start the automation process for them. Okay, so I think that's really it. That's how everything works. The next thing you need to do is log into your CRM, take a look around, and look at the email that comes with this. If you are in our recruiting program and you already have your branded recruiting center set up, I'm going to send you the link to your recruiting center so that you can test it, fill out the forms yourself, and see how it works from your perspective. And please use a different email than you would normally use. Use like a personal email, something like that, so you can kind of see how the texting looks on your end, on the prospect's end, how the emails look on the prospect's end, and you can see what your notifications are going to look like. All right, thank you so much. That's the demo of the recruiting program. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.